والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله أولئك الذين امتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. وقال تعالى لقد رضي الله عن المؤمنين إذ يبايعونك تحت الشجرة فعلم ما في قلوبهم فأنزل السكينة عليهم وأثابهم فتحا قريبا. وقال تعالى لقد صدق الله رسوله الرؤيا بالحق لتدخلن المسجد الحرام إن شاء الله آمنين محلقين رؤوسكم ومقصرين لا تخافون فعلم ما لم تعلموا فجعل من دون ذلك فتحا قريبا. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. صدق الله العظيم. Very respected brothers, elders, listeners. Currently we are approaching the end of the month of Shawwal. Almost a week remaining before we enter the next Islamic month. The next Islamic month from the 12 months is Dhul Qa'dah, or in Urdu as we say Dhi Qa'dah, in Arabic Dhul Qa'dah. Regarding the 11th month of the Islamic calendar Dhul Qa'dah, many of us or some of us may know or some may not know that this is a sacred month. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, has mentioned in the Quran, in the year there are 4 sacred months. Minha arba'atun hurum in Surah At-Tawbah. What does this mean that these months are sacred? They are special. Pre-Islamic days, or you could say the time of Jahiliyyah, the Arabs would honor these days, these months, and they would not fight one another in these months. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran regarding what they would do. So on the sacred months they would not fight with one another, but they would change. One year they may change Muharram to Safar and Safar to Muharram. But they respected, in general, the sacred months. What is the reason that these months are sacred? It's because during the month of Dhul Qa'dah, usually the Hajis are preparing to go for Hajj. So when they go for Hajj, their journey would be safe. In the month of Dhul Qa'dah, they go. And in the month of Dhul Hijjah, they perform the actions of Hajj. And in the month of Muharram, the Hujjaj, they return back from Hajj. And the 3 months which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned that come consecutively, one after the other, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, are 3 sacred months. And during the year is Rajab, where the Hujjaj, or you would say the people that go for Umrah, they could safely go and perform their Umrah. What effect does it have for us on these sacred months is what we need to understand as Muslims. In these sacred months, the Mufassirin write, if a Muslim does a good deed and pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what will happen? This deed and reward will be multiplied. Ramadan goes past and we may feel that there's not much to gain now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us these opportunities during the year. In the sacred month, if we do one deed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies the reward. And if we commit a sin in the sacred month, then one is liable for more punishment because it's a sacred month. So we have to keep this in mind, bear this in mind about the sacred months. Another point that we learn regarding Dhul Qa'dah is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in his life, he had performed 4 umrahs. اعتمر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 4 أمر. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in his life had performed 4 umrahs. كلهن, all of these umrahs were in the month of Dhul Qa'dah. إلا التي كانت مع حجته, apart from that umrah that he had performed with his hajj. The first umrah which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam performed, which is called Umratul Hudaybiyah. The second umrah which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam performed in his life was the following year after that, Al-Aam al-Muqbil, which is known as Umratul Qadha. The third umrah which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam performed from Ji'irrana, and the fourth umrah which he performed with his hajj. Although Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed 3 umrahs, but the fourth is counted also because he intended to go for umrah and he was stopped. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahabas, the companions, still received the reward for this. So this counted as an umrah, which has been mentioned in the books of hadith. So these umrahs which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed, they were in the month of Dhul Qa'dah. And the reason why I selected the subject of this umrah is because there is mentioned in the books of Sirah, and we will find it in the books of hadith, the journey of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's first umrah from Medina. Why I have selected this? Because from this story and from this umrah, we learn many things. Some in our day-to-day life. And from this story of umrah, we will learn, inshaAllah. But first we have to understand, how was this journey that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took? And one of the things which is related to our aqidah and belief that we learn from this journey is the love the companions had for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are very sincere in their love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the verse I recited from the Quran, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ امْتَحَنَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُمْ لِلتَّقْوَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He had examined the Sahaba. And what did He examine? When we have an exam, we could know something. We have a written exam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala examined their heart. And what was the result? The Sahabas, they were very sincere. And they had taqwa, conscious, piety, their love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And they're willing to give up their life for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is all understood from this journey. So we must remember and keep firm on our aqidah and belief regarding the Sahabas. This is our aqidah, the aqidah of the Muslims. We love the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we will not let anyone try to attack their character or try to attack their actions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about some mistakes that they had made, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned how He has forgiven them. So we do not have any right to attack or say anything about the beloved companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. As we know from Mecca, when the Muslims went to Madinatul Munawwara, The first battle that took place was Badr. Then after that it was Uhud. And then after some time it was Khandaq. Now the Muslims had lived in Madinatul Munawwara, the capital state at the time. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on one occasion, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran, in Para 26, in Surah Al-Fath, the last ruku. And around this story, after this had taken place, Surah Al-Fath, which is in Para 26, was revealed unto Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam had seen a dream. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this dream a reality. It happened. لَقَدْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ رَسُولَهُ الرُّؤْيَا بِالْحَقِّ. In his dream he had seen that he has gone to Makkah al-Mukarramah, and he went to perform Umrah along with the companions. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam had woken up and he shared this dream with the companions, and as we know their love for Baytullah, any one of us sitting here, how much love that we have for Baytullah, for the Kaaba, and when we see the Kaaba, and how we would like to visit again and again. Many people go time and time again for Umrah, but it's not enough seeing the Kaaba, performing Tawaf. And we cannot imagine the love that the companions had for Baytullah, for Makkah, for Masjid al-Haram, which they had missed for 6 years because they were in Madinatul Munawwara and they could not go back. And now Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam shared this dream with them that he went to perform Umrah and the companions were with him. Allah mentions about this dream in the Quran. Some of them muhalliqina ru'usakum, they had done halaq and they had totally got rid of their hair. They were bald. And some of them had done qasr, short trimming. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam shared this dream, the companions, their love for Makkah, their love for the Kaaba, their love for Tawaf and Masjid al-Haram cannot be explained. And they decided, and I'm very happy that we can go and perform Umrah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the companions to announce that whoever wishes to accompany him in this journey, they can prepare themselves. Two narrations that come, some say there was 1,500 companions that were ready. As the Jabir radiallahu anh says that I had seen on that day, 1,400 companions were ready. And they are ready to take this journey to Makkah al-Mukarramah to perform Umrah. They are ready to take this journey without any weapons, solely with the intention to go and perform Umrah. As I just mentioned before, that this story has many lessons that we learn. That will come later, inshaAllah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had reached the place in Madinatul Munawwara, where if anyone wanted to go to Makkah and they would need to get in the state of Ihram, the border is Dhul Hulayfa. So they had got into the state of Ihram from Dhul Hulayfa and they intended their journey. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had sent a spy to go ahead to see what the intentions of Quraysh are, if they know about this, and what would happen. The spy had informed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that the Makkans, they are aware of his intention. And at that time, Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu anh was not a Muslim. He, along with 200 men, had set out on a journey. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam changed the direction of his journey onto another path and reached a place called Hudaybiyah, almost 9 miles from Makkah al-Mukarramah. So the Sahabas arrested in this place of Hudaybiyah. And this is where they were very thirsty. They have come from a long journey and it was very hot and there was no water. In this story we learn the miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got a spear and put it in the ground, and this was a miracle where water gushed out and the companions had drank water. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's means of transport would not go forward. They tried again and again, but it would not go forward. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that if the Quraysh today, they give a reasonable condition on agreement, then I will agree with them. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after he had said this, his means of transport started to move. Now the Meccans, the Quraysh, they had said that you cannot perform Umrah. The Muslims had replied to them that we have come without any weapons. We intend to only perform Umrah, nothing else. We have no weapons. But they disagreed with this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam selected Umar radiallahu anhu that he should go and negotiate with them and speak to them and explain to them that we have not come to fight. Umar radiallahu anhu, he gave his mashwara, his opinion. Consultation, mashwara, it holds a lot of benefits. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned a person that does istikhara, seeks guidance and help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a person that does mashwara, two very important things that we need in our life. Many of us only would use this at the time of marriage, istikhara. And mashwara is out the window. So these are two things we should, part of our life, and there's a lot of benefits in this. ما خاب من استخار ولا ندم من استشار. A person will not lose, a person will gain with doing these two things. May Allah give us the ability. So Umar radiallahu anh gave his opinion that because in Makkatul Mukarramah many of my enemies are there and they could attack me, it is better if you send Uthman radiallahu anh, because he has many relatives in Makkah and he would be able to reach to a better agreement and deal hopefully than me going. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam liked this opinion and he had selected Uthman radiallahu anh to go and to speak to them, negotiate with them, explain to them that we have come only to perform Umrah without any weapons. Uthman radiallahu anh had reached Makkah and took refuge in one of his relatives, Bayan ibn Sa'id. But they had said that we will not let you perform, the Muslims perform Umrah. If you like, you can do tawaf yourself. But Uthman radiallahu anh said, I will not perform tawaf or do Umrah without Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And then later it became famous, a news which was unveiled that Uthman radiallahu anh has been martyred. And this news reached Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So if Allah wills, I will continue with this inshaAllah next week.